we can have your attention, and just want to take a minute to welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I think we're in for a real treat as we hear these guys that are highly renowned, world-renowned musicians, and we get the opportunity to hear a piece of what they're about here in our showroom. It's just a way for Isringhausen Imports to say thank you to our great customers, and we just appreciate every one of you very much. I'm glad you were able to join us tonight. So the show's going to go on here in a minute, and I want to introduce Trevor Orthman. He's the executive director of the Symphony here in Springfield, and I want to invite everybody to join the Symphony Saturday night at the show. We'll be there, and you all should join us.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Isringhausen, for sponsoring the concert on Saturday evening in this great event. We have two wonderful artists here this evening. I've known Nick for a very long time, since he was almost a little kid, actually a teenager, and he played with the orchestra last year when our new music director auditioned, and immediately when we were planning this season, he said, we need to have Nick back. And then Nick will tell you a little bit about what he got offered to do, pretty much plan the concert that's happening Saturday night. So it's going to be more, it's going to be an experience. The one word that came up from Nick is, it has to have the right vibe. So he then says, well, we need a new piece, and I have just the perfect person to write that piece, and that is Steve Hackman, who was a friend of Nick's and I think a roommate for some time when they were at the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia. So they really can take it away now, and hope to see you at the concert on Saturday evening. It's going to be just a wonderful experience and something different than a really normal, stuffy symphony orchestra concert that some have the perception of symphony orchestras being. So thank you again, Jeff, and see you on Saturday evening.
Thank you, Trevor. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Great.
If you guys in the back want to come close, there's this huge divide here. I don't smell. Neither does Steve. We showered earlier. But for myself, like Trevor was saying, I was here. I'm going to take this out of it. It's great. Hold on. I was here in your community last year, and I'm very fortunate in my life that I travel to many communities here in the United States, but also in the world. And you do. Each community has its own DNA, and definitely this place has made me feel like I can be very creative as an artist. And the thing that I do, and the thing that Steve does, and the people that we make music with, is we come from a tradition of what's called classical music, but we also do a lot of experimenting. We utilize the space of the concert hall and really the world's biggest band, a symphony orchestra, to realize new vision, but for us, it's without losing the essence of what the craft actually is that this tradition has ultimately built up. And it's kind of cool talking about this because we are in a place, these walls here, that celebrates tradition and excellence, and the vehicles here in this place are a testament to that. And I've already sat in about 3 dozen of them, and I want them all. But yes, a big round of applause. But it's kind of a cool analogy because, you know, ultimately when you sit in one of these vehicles, at least for me, when I've had the opportunity to sit in an excellent vehicle, you know you are an incredible, the genius of what it took to make that thing work. But at the same time, when you're actually using it, and you have to learn how to use it well, although, I mean, that's what I've learned. You almost don't notice it, and it just becomes this thing that just carries you along, and it's this force. And I think music has a lot of the same ways. We study many hundreds and thousands of hours since we're very young. I started when I was 3 years old. I'm 34 now, and many hours on perfecting our technique. But ultimately, for us and for anybody who is in music, it's about the expression, and it's about that reciprocal relationship between the musician and the audience. So I wasn't gonna talk too much, but I kind of, maybe it's the beer, the Spaten is awesome. But, so Steve and I didn't really plan much, and we'll talk about the piece a little bit more if you guys have more questions, but we're gonna spend like a couple minutes now. I'm gonna start playing. It's gonna be completely improvised. We're gonna see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. And then Steve will join me when it feels right, and we'll just see what happens. So, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Buckle up. I put this over here. Maybe just a little less gain. Split the difference. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
my gain back.
And I have crawled, and I
I still haven't found what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for. What I'm looking for. What I'm looking for.
You guys, does anybody have any questions for either Steve or myself, or any questions about the symphony in general? Yes?
How many violins do you own?
How many violins do I own? Well, this is right now my, well actually I do have 3 violins, but the other 2 are electric. One is completely a solid piece of, what's the name of the material? It's
Carbon?
yeah, exactly. Thank you, carbon. It's a carbon instrument, and it's dark purple, and it's pretty cool. And then I have a violin that looks natural, but it actually is electronically enhanced. I don't use those instruments much these days, but this violin is a masterpiece by a master craftsman, a luthier by the name of Terry Borman, and he made this instrument, it's a her, in Salt Lake City, Utah in 1995. This is a copy of an instrument I used to play on when I was in school, where Steve and I both went to school, the Curtis Institute of Music, and I was playing on a Guarneri del Gesù violin, which was valued at $2.5 million back then, and it's much more now. It's kind of crazy, but these instruments are extremely valuable. And this bow, since we all appreciate fine things here, this bow here is, I got this for $22,000. And it's a Viome, it's a French maker. And I have another one for $26,000. I'm not trying to boast, I'm just, we all appreciate fine things here.
And just stay away basically.
Yeah, just don't touch.
Just generally speaking.
Yeah, just, this area is off limits, no I'm kidding.
I rehearse with these guys. Nick has a group called Time for Three, and we'll go on a rehearsal break, and they'll all just set their violin down on a table and set their bow down, and I literally I go about 0.1 miles an hour, it's slow motion. So
You're pretty good about it though.
I don't step on any violins.
That's a great question. Any other questions?
Do you have any recordings?
No, I don't. Steve has many recordings that can be found off your website. Currently not. Soon to be though. SteveHackman.com. My group, Time for Three. Time for Three, my group that I play in, Steve mentioned, does have 2 albums out, and that can be found at timefor3.com, all letters. Time for Three spelled out. And my website right now is dormant. I'm working on some projects. It's a 3-year plan. Yeah.
Time for 3.
That's right, Time for 3. Years. Yes.
Nick's a little busy these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but I will be making some recordings.
Influences.
Say it again.
Who are your musical influences?
Musical influences. Steve, why don't you go, because I've been talking a lot.
I think Nick and I have a similar story when it comes to influences, in that we were raised in the classical music tradition, and we trained at the highest level classically at the Curtis Institute that Nick's mentioned, but both had a love of contemporary popular music all through childhood, high school, college, etc. In fact, one of Nick and I share a passion for hip hop music. And
Old school hip hop.
Well, I appreciate new hip hop as well, but everything. Influences. That's just an example. All the popular music traditions are sort of influence my music, but the music that I write, personally, is definitely a combination of classical virtuosity and classical technique with popular idioms. So if you do get to come to the concert on Saturday night, the piece that I wrote for Nick, it definitely is a combination of those two things. So you'll hear what probably is going to sound to you like quote-unquote classical music, and then you might hear a section that sounds closer to what Nick and I were just doing, which is, maybe more contemporary, more populist in nature, more maybe cinematic. So influences, everyone we've studied. I can't think of a single score I've studied or a single album I've listened to that I gained nothing from. If not, that's not what I want to do. There's always something there. So.
Oh, I guess I should talk about what my influences.
Oh, you don't have to.
It was so nice. I didn't want to. It's the same. Yeah, it's very similar. I grew up. For myself, I come from a very musical family, like Steve. His sister is a fantastic singer, opera singer. But I learned as a kid. So I learned through the Suzuki method, which is a very famous way of learning how to play. My grandfather was the pioneer of the method from Japan to America and consequently the rest of the world in the 60s. But for me, violin playing was music, but imagination, fun, and games. And it was also a group class on the weekend. So it was I had a peer group. I practiced every day with my mom. She actually learned how to play an instrument. That's what you do in the Suzuki method, which I think is one of the beautiful things about the method. It's one of the few lasting, these days, it's one of the few lasting connections that a parent can have with their children at a very early age through music and learning together. And I had that lucky very experience with my mother. So for me, it was, I was performing at a very early age, and the stage was an opportunity to, be serious, but play games through music, but be serious and really practice hard so you get to do something awesome on stage. That's how I always looked at it. So kind of fast forwarding all those years to now, your very own symphony, you guys should be very proud of it. A lot of the orchestras in our country haven't really given an opportunity to young emerging artists to just imagine the whole program. And literally giving me carte blanche about what I wanted to create as an opening piece and what I wanted to play at the end. And so it's very innovative, and to be able to do something that is born here in this town through our creation and sharing it with you guys, I think it's really awesome and really important. I think a lot of organizations across the country will look at this orchestra as an example. So congratulate yourselves, come on. Any other questions? At the end of the show, at the end of the night, I will be playing a violin concerto, probably one of the most famous in the violin repertoire, written by Sibelius, who is a Finnish composer. And I love the piece. I play a lot of concerto rep, but this piece in particular is very different in that, we've all heard of concerto, so it's a solo voice that's very distinct from the writing of the orchestra. So when you hear the performance sonically and visually, the two are, even though it's a collaboration, the orchestra is very much an accompanimental element to the concerto. Sibelius had this incredible way of making this concerto symphonic in every way possible. The score is, you look at the score, it's so thick, but literally Sibelius's music is kind of like these big waves. And if you look at the score and you put them all out, you can kind of see the big waves in the writing. It's really cool. And for me, with my energy, I love getting in the middle of that energy and from the inside working out. And this piece allows me to hear and spin the sound from the inside out with all of those instruments in harmony together. So it's really, really an awesome, I use the word purposely, an awesome piece. And I'd love for you to come and experience it, because I definitely love it very much.
Tell me soon you let me go. Do you mean it? I've heard it so many times before, so I'm disinclined to believe it. let me down easy, right on the border of illusion and reality. You tell me enough that I'm eager, but not so much that I lose my place. First among the dreamers till I'm free. Till I'm free. Till I'm free. Till I'm free. And here it's rough, this I learned, but you say out there it's worse. They'll steal your heart, they'll take your soul, then plagiarize you, chapter and verse. Enough of all your warnings, enough of all your plans to deter me and unnerve me. But if this is a battle to the death, then let it be. I'm fearless now. I've made my peace, so let me free. Let me free. Let me free. Let me free. To be whatever I want to be, till you come for me. To be whatever I want to be, so let me free. 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 Let me free.
This is called Chardosh. This is a piece I used to play, a lot of violinists know. Steve has arranged this for my group Time for Three and orchestra, and it's a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Never really played it on pianos, but
Yeah.
Wow, are we a fortunate group to have that tonight? I hope you guys were as much as I am. And isn't it exciting to be in the presence of people with passion? Aren't these just I can't find another word but awesome, like Nick used. Anyway, thanks we're really thankful to have been able to provide this for you tonight, and we just encourage everybody to join us Saturday night at the Symphony at Sangamon Auditorium. And we're really fortunate to have the Illinois Symphony in our community, and we all need to support it. So please join us, and events like this are possible only through that. So everybody, thanks for coming, thanks for your business, and thanks you guys.
Thank you.